Let's continue our conversation with DA Federal Council Chairperson Hellen Zille. It's all to do with the Western Cape Provincial Powers Bill tabled in the legislature. A lot of criticism regarding this. The chairperson is still with us. Chairperson, good morning. I apologise for the drop in the line earlier. We were talking about criticism about this. Is this about getting the Western Cape away from the rest of South Africa? That's where our conversation ended, I'm afraid. Good morning.
Good morning, Gareth. It's about getting federalism for South Africa, not only for the Western Cape, but for every province that votes for good government. If people vote for good government and get a good government that delivers services and doesn't steal the money, they deserve to have the benefits of that. Now, we have always believed in federalism, and we are promoting federal autonomy in every province where we govern. And certainly after a 2024 election, we're hoping it'll be many more provinces. So our benchmark of federal autonomy is not only for the Western Cape, it's for every other province that puts us into government. And it means devolving power from a completely incapable and corrupt central state to a capable provincial and local state. And that is what our bill seeks to achieve.
One of the questions as well is, how does this benefit the people of the Western Cape if moving away from the national structures per se?
Well, enormously. First of all, we've devolved many policing powers, as many as we can under the current law. And things are much, much better for people in the Western Cape under the Metropolitan Police Service and oversight in the Western Cape. And so that gives you some taste. Of course, what we need is far more policing powers, which this bill is seeking to achieve. Electricity generation and reticulation is another obvious area, and so is rail. Under the ANC national government's control, rail has collapsed completely in the Western Cape. And if the city and the province were to control that kind of transport, we would get it up and running and working again. So there's huge advantages for the residents of the Western Cape. They never voted for the failed state. They want competent, clean government that delivers services. We'd like to take over all of the harbours. We'd like to take over trade policy, etc., etc. And it's all possible within the current constitutional dispensation. There just has to be a devolution of power.
And I will let you go in a moment, Chairperson. I know you have another interview in 10 minutes. Unfortunately, we got cut off earlier, so I'll keep this brief. I do just want to get your response, though, to the racism comments aimed at you from eNCA Banga, former Eastern Cape provincial leader. Just please give me your take on what you think happened there.
I have absolutely no idea. He had some idea that I was in the Eastern Cape on Friday night speaking to the ANC about him and how he got his very expensive house. I wasn't anywhere near the Eastern Cape on Friday night. I have not met with any ANC person to discuss eNCA Banga's house, and it was a figment of a very troubled imagination. And then he spoke his mouth verby, as they say in Afrikaans. So I'm very sorry about that, but there are deep-seated problems there that we have to deal with.
And for the moment, suspended or not suspended? What's the latest?
Well, I'm out of this question. Obviously, I've got a conflict of interest, so I can't deal with the disciplinary. The province is dealing with it, and you'll have to ask them.
I appreciate the time. DA's Federal Chairperson Hellen Zille.